NBA off-season news. Headliners this week. Phil and Ryan, the biggest one, Chris Paul acquired by the Phoenix Suns in a blockbuster trade. Guys, what do you think about this move?
Ryan, I think it's great for Arizona and their NBA fans. Ryan, when you look at Phoenix and some of the great talent that they've had in years past, for instance, Steve Nash, Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, Cliff Robinson, they have a track record for winning ball games and acquiring distinguished talent, whether that is out of free agency, the NBA draft, or like we saw here on Monday, a trade. This is an NBA team that is literally trying to establish themselves all over again and make a statement in the league, showing back up on the map, as we like to call it. They've never won a championship in franchise history. They have 2 conference titles, 1976 and 93, and 6 division titles, with the most recent coming in 2007. So, Ryan, not a lot to cheer about lately for these Suns fans. But Booker finally has veteran leadership to work under, as we expect Booker and CP3 to lead this squad in 2020-21 season. These Suns have made a push in the bubble with the team that they had last year. They almost made the postseason. I think, Ryan,
they went 8-0. They deserved to make the postseason, but unfortunately,
they won the last 8 games.
They did fall short. Yeah.
Okay. So they made a push last season when the league moved into the bubble. So again, adding a 35-year-old Chris Paul, you can't go wrong, right? I mean, Paul has dealt with injuries before, but I don't think that should be a major concern as he reunites with Monty Williams. CP3 is determined, he's confident, and I simply love how he plays the game of basketball. CP3 can play offense and defense really well. I mean, for Pete's sake, Ryan, we're talking about a ball player that was drafted in 2005 and one of the best point guards to ever play the game. If you remember, Ryan, Chris Paul got acquired by the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Houston Rockets last summer in exchange for Russell Westbrook. And no question, Chris Paul, a future Hall of Famer with the type of resume he holds. I mean, go look at it for yourself. A 10-time NBA All Star, NBA Rookie of the Year in 2006. In 2013, he won the MVP in that All Star game. Point guard, again, moving back to point guard, Devin Booker is one of the best in the game. So shout out to the Suns general manager for making this trade, trying his best to do anything he is capable of to help the team win, first of all, and second of all, trying to get Chris Paul a championship in his final act, and that's something that we have not seen yet. So the Phoenix roster up and down, Ryan, young talent. The next closest player to CP3 in terms of age is Aaron Bain, and he's 33 years old. So to put this discussion into conclusion, where I am heading with this, no, they don't have enough talent to get past the top teams in the West. And when I say the heavy-built teams, the top teams in the West right now, we're talking about the defending champion Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and even the Rockets. But now, as we just discussed, with James Harden possibly wanting out of Houston,
right,
that might, the talent in Houston, they might move down the standings next season. But I think Phoenix can definitely match their win total, or maybe even win more games than they did a year ago. And that was 34.
Yeah, I'm happy for the Phoenix Suns. They haven't had that many winning seasons in a while. The 35-year-old future Hall of Famer joins what is already a good Suns team. Like you mentioned, the Suns went 8-0 this past season in the NBA bubble, which gives them a lot of momentum heading into this season. This season scheduled to begin on December 22nd. The Suns' projected starters for this upcoming season include Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Cameron Johnson, Michael Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton. Now, Devin Booker, you look at the age of these players. Devin Booker, 24 years old. Mikal Bridges, 24 years old. Cameron Johnson, 24 years old. And DeAndre Ayton, 22 years old. And you also have Dario Saric coming off the bench. He's 26 years old, previously playing a little bit in Europe, a couple different NBA teams. So he has a little bit of promise to him as well. So it seems like to me, the Suns are making it clear that they want to make the playoffs this year after they were so close to doing so last year. I think this trade puts them in a very good position to do so. Devin Booker is one of the best young players in the league. He could drop 40, 50 points on any given night, who was the leader for the Suns last year, and now the Suns bring in Chris Paul to lead the Suns alongside Booker. So it's a very exciting time for the Suns fans. Like I mentioned, the Suns haven't been good in a while. They haven't made the playoffs since the 2009 to 2010 season, where they made the Western Conference Finals and lost. So the Suns haven't won an NBA title, losing both appearances. I think this trade gives the Suns a good chance to make a deep run in the playoffs, and it makes them a threatening team. However, I don't see the Suns making it to the NBA Finals. The Western Conference is a tough conference. You have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, of course, winning the NBA championship this past season. And if Davis returns this season, of course, they'll reunite and try to make another run. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson returning to the Warriors this season. They built a dynasty, winning three out of the 4 championships. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George on the Clippers. The Nuggets and Jazz have both good teams. Of course, the Nuggets upsetting the Clippers last season. So it seems like the narrative now for the NBA, I've noticed, is superstar players recruiting other superstar players and all-star players during the offseason to come join them and try to make a run at a title. And I think it all started with back when LeBron James joined the Miami Heat and bringing the big three to Miami alongside Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Then you had Kevin Durant goes to the Warriors with Curry and Thompson, Draymond Green. Of course, they also won a title. Russell Westbrook and James Harden joined forces in Houston. They didn't have much luck. And now, of course, like you mentioned, there's talks of James Harden joining the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the Eastern Conference. And can you imagine how good that team would be if they get James Harden? The Nets were the 7th seed last season, despite Kevin Durant being out all season long. And now you get one of the best players in the league with Kevin Durant back. And if they get James Harden...
Yeah, because we have yet to see Kevin Durant yet play for the Nets, right?
He last played with the Warriors, and he got hurt in the finals.
With him being a Maryland product from around here, close to Maryland.
Prince George's County.
Yeah, boy, I can't wait to see him in a Nets jersey.
Yeah, I mean, the Nets might be a championship favorite for next season if they get James Harden.
Well, and you make a point. I'm glad you brought that up. Chris Paul being 35 years old, we'll have to wait and see how much longer he sticks around and plays basketball. But the question now, how much better can they get down the road, years to come? Because, like you said, with great players recruiting great players, how many more great players, how many more legendary players will Chris Paul try to get in Phoenix before he retires?
Yeah, it's hard to say, and it is a good possibility that Chris Paul could try to bring someone else in if the Suns don't win a finals, or if they have a disappointing season. But I don't think that'll happen. I think the Suns have a very good chance to make a deep playoff run, and I think they're a real threat to the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, and I think they could upset one of these teams in the playoffs next season.
I think, I mean, I don't have them upsetting, but I think possibly if all goes right, everybody can stay healthy. We always talk about that as a key factor.
Yeah.
I think the Phoenix Suns may be a threat. I don't know which team right now, but I think they may be a threat to one of the top 3 in the West.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You have been listening to Listen Up, presented by Dempsey's Guru and Sportsland, your complete team outfitter in Middletown, Maryland. Ryan, I will see you Saturday.